Hey guys, it's Bridget with Sandy Seed Company, and today we're talking about cauliflower or cauliflower, depending on how you say it, you know, whatever, tomato, tomato. But that big, beautiful vegetable that is so packed full of tons of nutrients and is really actually pretty easy to grow in your garden. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you how so that you can grow it every year and enjoy it in your kitchen. So I've been doing this for a really long time, and I'm not gonna lie, just like you guys in the beginning, broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower, they were hard for me to grow. But luckily I learned from professional growers how to grow really good cauliflower, and there's a few things that you really need to know, and I'm going to talk about them in this video so that you can be successful and have those beautiful brassicas every single year. If you watch this whole video, I'm going to show you how to take a $4 pack of seeds and grow a type of produce in your garden that is the most versatile. You can make cauliflower crust, cauliflower rice, you can just eat plain cauliflower. There's so many things you can do with it, and to be successful at growing cauliflower will really up your gardening game. Okay, so the first thing you gotta know is when to plant your cauliflower. Cauliflower is a cool season crop. So in zone 9 and 10, that means you're planting it in the fall. And believe it or not, I know I'm not crazy. I sound crazy, but I swear I'm not crazy when I tell you, these seeds were started in August. Okay, now that is a pro tip because you want to avoid the fall effect. If you don't know what the fall effect is, we have tons of videos on it, but the long of the short is you want to get your plants growing while the day length is still pretty long. And this is how we have cauliflower heads that look like this that are going to be ready right around Thanksgiving when I have a lot of people in my house and I can make amazing meals with my cauliflower. Okay, so the second thing you need to know is prepping your garden for such an amazing, massive plant. So you have to plant these in the fall to get really big, beautiful heads when it's hot in zone 9 and 10. So you need to prep the soil so that it can take on tons of moisture. What do I mean by that? I'm clearing any weeds, I'm adding tons of compost, and I'm rehydrating the soil. That is essential. These plants are started by seed in transplants and then transplanted into the soil in a time of the year that's pretty harsh in zone 9 and 10. So everything you can do to make the soil really great before transplanting these is going to help you be more successful. Now here's the really key thing that most gardeners don't know. When you transplant your cauliflower, you need to protect them. They're tiny little delicious baby little plants that everything wants to eat. And the way that you do that is by adding Sluggo Plus around the plant when you transplant it. We have tons of videos on Sluggo Plus and on different seeding methods, but basically when these plants get transplanted, they're about this big, I'm taking Sluggo Plus and I'm sprinkling it around the plant to keep roly-polies and snails and slugs from chowing down on this delectable, delicious little plant. Remember, a tiny little transplant is kind of like, it's like a gourmet microgreen to insects. They really want to eat it, and so anything you can do to keep those insects off it, preferably organic, then you can protect them until they get big enough that no snail or slug is going to take this guy down. Okay, so my other pro tip is row cover. Now we put row cover over all of our brassicas, so that's broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower when they're babies, and there's many reasons for this. One, by using row cover, it's 100% organic process of keeping those beautiful little green chartreuse butterflies that you see in the fall that are so gorgeous. Well, they're a menace because they land on your plant, they lay eggs, those eggs become leaf-eating caterpillars, and the caterpillars can destroy your crops when they're little. So by putting the row cover over your crops, you can just simply keep them from landing on your plant. It's a very easy, organic way to keep insects off your crops. And the other thing that's great about the row cover is it's going to hold in a little bit of humidity. As I mentioned, particularly in zone 9 and 10 in the fall, in August, September, and October, it is hot and it is dry. So anything we can do to protect our crops and give them a little extra hydration is key. Now let me just point something out. You'll notice I don't have row covers on these crops right now because they're already maturing. What's important about using Sluggo Plus and your row cover is you gotta do it when they're babies. When the plants get big enough, they should fend themselves off. At this stage, look, I don't care if there's some leaf-eating caterpillars that are chowing a little bit on this plant. That's fine. I'm still gonna get a nice big head of cauliflower to enjoy. The point is you gotta protect them when they're really young and they can't protect themselves. All right, so you'll notice where I have all my brassicas, it is completely full sun. These plants are very heavy feeding plants, which means they need two things. They need full sun and as many hours of sunlight as possible in the cool season. That's important, which right now it's November. It's our cool season in zone 9 and 10. They need full sun so that they can photosynthesize as much as possible, and they also need to be fertilized. These plants are going to get big, and imagine how much energy it takes for all of these leaves to grow, and then for a big central head to grow. It takes a lot. So we fertilize at the time of planting with an organic granular fertilizer like our Darn Good fertilizer, and then we also fertilize throughout the season, maybe 2, even 3 times if the soil is not fabulous, with a liquid organic fertilizer that's basically like a quick jolt of energy to keep these guys growing and happy until they're ready to be harvested. So if you're looking closely at my garden, you'll notice this soil is not dry. We have plenty of moisture in the soil. We are continuously watering these crops for them to be successful. As a general rule of thumb, in zone 9 and 10, if you don't have irrigation, it's really hard to have thriving crops because they can't be left to wilt and come back and wilt and come back, which is what typically happens when you hand water. So by running the irrigation and keeping moisture in the soil, these plants can really thrive because they're never struggling. They're just focusing on growing a big, beautiful head of cauliflower for us to enjoy. Remember, no garden is perfect, and if you look here, I've even got some aphids. And one thing you'll notice, this plant is slightly shaded by this marigold, which is probably why there's more aphids on this plant than the other plants. Now luckily, this is a super easy problem to solve. All you gotta do is go grab your hose, put it on a really strong setting, and blast these guys off. Their lifespan is so short, they're not gonna be able to crawl back up. And if you just stay on top of that, you're gonna rinse off all these aphids and allow the plant to start fending itself. If you leave this unchecked, not only are you gonna have a pretty nasty head of cauliflower to eat because there's so many insects in there, it's also going to stunt the leaves and just stunt the overall growth of the plant. So get a strong jet of water and spray it off. If it's particularly bad, you can use a safer soap, insecticidal soap. But in this case, I'm just gonna use a strong spray of water. All right, so let's talk harvesting. So something I hear all the time, which I'm like really confused about because I've literally been doing this for like 15 years and I've never done it, is blanching or wrapping the leaves around your cauliflower heads so you get white cauliflower heads. First of all, I don't really care. It's extra work and totally unnecessary in my opinion. White cauliflower will still be white. It might have a tiny tinge of different color to it, but in general, it's going to be almost white. And the taste is going to be the same. So for me, it's not worth the extra effort of tying the leaves up. The most important thing to know when you're getting ready to harvest, people always say when to harvest. Always err on the side of harvesting earlier than later. And the reason being is as cauliflower gets more mature, the flavor profile is going to decline significantly. It's going to get curdy, it's going to be like crummy, the actual cauliflower head will start to kind of split open. Then you get insects inside and it's really kind of gross. So I always tell people, judge it just by the size. So like this guy over here, this guy is not ready, but I'm not gonna let him get that much bigger. Remember, what you buy at the store shouldn't be compared with what you grow in your garden. What's bought at the store are commercial hybrid varieties that are gonna get very big. They're grown in extremely controlled environments. You're not likely to get those perfect ones every single time. And if you err on the side of harvesting when they're younger and more tender, you'll be much more happy than waiting too long and then wasting all of your season on creating a cauliflower that's kind of almost inedible. So if you are a gardener in zone 9 and 10 and you love our content and you're a struggling gardener, please subscribe to our channel so we can help you be a better gardener. And trust me, I know I'm only one person. I would love to get comments on this video about the things that you have learned that have really upped your broccoli, cabbage, or cauliflower game so that you can grow beautiful heads every single year. You have to use row cover and Sluggo Plus to really be successful on like a professional level of growing your cauliflower. So make sure you use it early and get control of those pests so you can have beautiful heads to enjoy in the kitchen. Shop on our website and you're gonna see we have tons of different varieties of cauliflower. And you know, actually I really love this good old-fashioned white, your grandma's cauliflower, but we have green, we have beautiful different colored cauliflowers that you can grow. We've got a beautiful geometric shaped cauliflower. Jump on the website and check that out. And we also have the other tools that you need to be successful when growing cauliflower, which is your Sluggo Plus and your row cover.